Morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Armory TV. Welcome to 5 Tier Podcast. Welcome to X. Hope everyone's doing well. Do want to apologise for not doing the stream last night. Things came up. I wasn't able to do it, so I've had to reschedule it for today. And yeah, it will be done now. Hope everyone is doing well though. It's not the most positive of streams, I'll be honest. So be prepared for that. Right. I do want to say before I bring up the first comments that are in the comment box now, there were a lot of comments on as well, especially from Tamina. And Tamina, I hope you are listening now, and I do apologise, but none of them are still here. I'm guessing after a certain amount of time they just get deleted. I don't know why. And there was also a question about Isaac. Now, I don't really want to talk about it because it is a bit of a pointless conversation. But Arsenal and Isaac, not going to happen. I don't see anything changing in the next 2 weeks because it will have to happen in the next 2 weeks for Newcastle. It's not going to happen, in my opinion. It makes no sense. It will be extremely expensive. And I'll be honest, I don't really think that anyone else will really get involved in the situation personally. But we'll wait and see. So big up to Geeks saying, hey, Bobby, hello, chat. And to anyone watching, please hit the like and subscribe. Please do. Yeah, do come over to the Armory TV, like and subscribe. And also on the 5 Tier Podcast, which is a new YouTube channel, which we're going to do all our football matches and as many streams as we can on, but mainly football matches, watch-alongs. Due to the fact I cover all the end of season huzzah when all the playoffs are around. Big up to Simba saying, big up Bobby, looks like Party's leaving. We'll get onto that in a minute. Big up to Starkey saying morning all. Big up to TE, anything on the left winger. We'll get onto that. Big up, mate. Hope you're well. Big up to Chris. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Big good morning, Bobby. Hope all is well. Big up to Kenobi. Big up to Mohammed saying tough start versus Man United away. Yeah, I'll quickly cover the fixtures. Big up to Neil saying, hey, mate, make our lives happy. I'll try, but I can't guarantee it. The season hasn't even started and already I wanted to hit AFC always. Oh, God. Look, I'm understanding the meltdown. I am understanding it. But yeah, it's one of those. It's I know what's coming, and it's worth waiting for. But I'm understanding that it's very stressful due to the fact you see other teams doing stuff, and it is just a few teams. There's not that much happening. You will see a lot happening shortly due to the fact people are now getting back from holiday. I'll be honest, the Club World Championships or whatever you want to call it is not helping because a lot of agents are out there. So that holds up some situations because you have to try and get a good video connection and all that kind of stuff. And it is actually very hard when there's 40,000 people around you trying to connect at the same time. Because unfortunately, a lot of them over there right now are TikTokers and YouTubers, and they're all needing internet. So, yeah. Did I watch the F1? I didn't, mate. I had a very, very busy weekend doing other stuff, and I did miss it. Obviously, I just know what happened, but yeah, I didn't actually watch it, unfortunately. Yeah, my weekend was just mad, unfortunately. Big up to Temi. Hope you're doing well. I see you there. Close to July, but we've signed Nopardinho and fucking no one. But hey, be excited. I know what's coming. Okay, I know that's very hard when I know what's coming and no one else does, but it's worth waiting for. I know it's very hard to listen to someone you don't really know, but just trust me, it's going to be worth it in the end. I'm calm about the potential incomings, but I'm not going to tell others how to feel. This club has burnt us before. Totally agree, Simba. Linked to Sesko and Joris end up with Hoyland on loan. No, that won't happen. We're not playing Leeds United. Absolutely. I'll be honest, mate. I haven't looked at the into good details of the fixtures because I'll talk about the fixtures shortly, I promise. But I'm not one of those that are bothered about when we play someone because at the end of the day, we all play each other twice. It doesn't make a difference to me when we play certain teams. It's just I quite like looking at the Boxing Day game. That's about it. Just because I like Boxing Day games. It's just a historic game that I've always enjoyed personally. Enough reasons why Norwich is not winning it. Bottle it in qualifying and went for move when door was closed. Yes, that bit I do know about. But yeah, this is my theory about Lando. He hasn't got the capabilities to use his brain cells, and Piastri does. Linked with Rodrygo and on the out end up with Reece Nelson back at the club. We'll get on to Reece Nelson shortly. Seems like the transfer news has paused for 2 weeks. The journos recycling the same information, says Simba. You will see in the next 48 hours that will change due to the fact people are coming back on holiday. I know quite a few people that are back today. There's a few back tomorrow. The holidays have definitely been a hurdle, but they don't ever say that in the media. They just recycle the same old poop. Yes, they do. So to be fair, I actually quite like it. I quite like the Red Bull on the shirt, if I'm honest. Is Rodrygo leaving, says Elizabeth. I'll get on to Rodrygo shortly. Congrats, Mercedes. Great weekend for both. Yeah. Antonelli's impressed me a lot. George, yeah, I've always thought George was very good anyway. But no, Antonelli's done it really, really well. Anyway, let's get into this. Right, we're going to start with the Arsenal women's first, due to the fact their window is open very shortly. Can't remember the exact date. I'll be honest. I'm trying to think of it, but I can't. However, Chloe Kelly and Taylor Hines are two possible incomings for free signings. So obviously Chloe Kelly is out of contract with Man City. She's given us exclusive rights to negotiate a deal with her. If we do not agree a deal with her, then obviously she'll move on and see where else she would like to go. But she has given us first dips. So hopefully we can get a deal. I do think we will get a deal with Chloe, and she will come back as a permanent signing, which would be lovely. And Taylor Hines is the vice captain at Liverpool. She's also out of contract, possibly could leave. I would personally like it. She's a fullback, which I actually do enjoy. So, yeah. I need a holiday from all this shit, says Neil. So I can bug you if nothing changes in the next 2 days, Bobby. By all means. But I do think in the next 48 hours, there will be bigger developments, in my opinion. Arsenal buy some players, no merchandise out. Yeah, that's never going to happen, Mark, to be honest. And that happens with any teams. It's not just us. There's other teams that do exactly the same thing. Norwich will never win the championship in the same car as Piastri. Arsenal buy some players, no merchandise out. Party, Jorginho in the same window, says Tim. We'll get on to Thomas Partey very shortly. Iron a move for turn their raiders on open preliminary talks for FC. It's not that bad, I promise. It's really not that bad. I've just realised my background currently looks like a tile of turd. I promise you, it's a very nice Scottish scene with some lovely wild horses, but it does look like a pile of turd. Oh, crikey. Is there truth to the news we agreed terms with Sesko? Yes. As I said, Neil, in my opinion, Sesko's our new number 9. I've not changed that stance since I announced it. I wasn't meant to announce it, but I don't really care because I'm fed up with the media. So, in my opinion, Sesko is our number 9. I don't see that changing. If it does change, I will explain why it does change, but currently I don't see it changing. Hulkenberg, solid drive. Alonso, solid drive. Ocon was on fire, not literally in a good way. Sainz from 17th to 10th. See, I like the Canadian Grand Prix. I wish I didn't miss it, but I unfortunately was doing other stuff. But yeah, it's a shame, really. Between Sesko and Gyökeres, who do you see Arsenal signing, and are we signing any wingers? We will sign at least one. I don't rule out two, but currently, obviously, there is a situation that we kind of got to deal with potentially. So I'll obviously talk about that in a minute, but guaranteed one winger, definitely get a striker, and then we'll see what else we can do. There is other stuff we need to do. Obviously, Kepa coming in, Zubimendi, but there is a lot more we need to try and do. And we obviously need to see who else leaves. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We can make a starting 11 of buzzwords journos use for Arsenal. Oh, mate, honestly, Simba. The problem with journos is their job is to make money. Their job is to influence a specific market. I'm going to be very careful how I say this. For a big financial gain. So to do that, they will pump out different kind of stories, one that contradicts another, because that will affect that market. And this is the problem. But yeah, they are. But mate, I don't even want to say what I think they are because I can't stand them. I'll be honest. All I know is we would cry when Zinny leaves. I will not. I wish him all the best. Problem is, he's going to my Italian club, so I'm going to still see him, Temi. So I would highly recommend that if, wherever he goes, I do think it's going to be AC Milan, but where he goes, I would suggest supporting them. Because if he goes to AC Milan, I might stop supporting AC Milan. No, I'm not going to, really. There's a few players I don't like at AC Milan as it is, but that's just another one. When I saw Oscar and Lando going side by side before start finish straight, I was like, this was inevitable. Said to my dad they will collide. Then I was like, what's Lando do? Yeah, Lando's lost the plot, hasn't he? Let's be honest. Will we make a double move for Simmons and Sesko? I don't rule out Simmons. I don't. We put in a £65 million offer in at the weekend for I'm going to be very careful how I word this. So I'm just going to say a forward player. And now, by the way, I have different interpretations of forwards. So wingers and striker are obviously forwards, but I also class the Cam as a forward. So we have put a £65 million bid in for a player at the weekend. It hasn't been rejected, but it hasn't been accepted. It's still sitting on the table. So we're going to wait and see what happens with that. But we are trying other things as well. Big up to Michael saying, good morning, Bobby. Quiet day. Oh, always. Isn't it always? Mate, just looking at how many messages I've not read in our group WhatsApp says it's definitely not a quiet day. Rodgers is someone that we are definitely looking at. I am definitely not going to deny that. Can only see Max challenging Oscar, but Max don't have the car to compete with McLaren. Yay! I mean, what a shame. To a backer saying Eze or Rodgers. Eze, in my opinion, is going elsewhere. I would love Eze. I hope we try and get him. It's a little bit technical because there's a release clause and it has become active now, but release clauses in the UK can be negotiated into installments. So, you can pay it over time, even if you put like £5 million on top of it, so they get a little bit more out of it over time. But yeah, please, which winger do you see us signing realistically? Because I'm tired of so much linking. Frank001, I will talk about that very shortly. Anana from Villa says Mohammed. Maybe Russell calls Mercedes a quite lone wolf. I hope George gets the challenge personally. Do you think we'll start the season with the majority of our signings? Says Neil. I can't see a scenario where we still haven't finished our business. There's only one where I think it might go further into the window than I would like. Obviously, Arsenal, Arteta, Andrea, myself, you as fans, all want our players in for pre-season. And I can't see that not happening, personally, apart from maybe one. And there will be a reason behind that. And I'll be honest, it's not going to be a massive signing. It's not going to like thrill people later in the window, but there might be a situation that might open up that we would be tempted by. So the Rodgers bid that was made and rejected, have we just walked away then? We will be coming back, or will we look at another target within the budget Andrea is working from? Well, I'm not saying it was Rodgers, by the way, but regarding the bid hasn't been rejected. It hasn't been accepted either. So it is still currently in limbo. Look, there's no deadline on how quick teams have to, accept or reject a bid. Bids can literally stay there for days and weeks on some occasions, I'll be honest. And look, at the end of the day, Arsenal are just going to be working to worry about themselves, not worry about anybody else. So, yeah. Making my breakfast while watching you, scrambled eggs with sausage in the wrap. That sounds delish. What sauce? Are you having sauce? Red, brown, or something different? Because, sometimes I actually like sweet chili with mine. Bit weird, I know, but in all fairness, I am a bit weird. Hato or Brazilian centre-back from Lille. Both very viable options, Mohamed. Both very viable options. You're on about, I think his surname's Ribeiro. So I think, if I remember correctly, he's got like 1 year left in his contract. So he's a perfect Arsenal signing, let's be honest, because the transfer fee is attainable without being asked to pay an absolute fortune for someone. So it's perfect for us. And yeah, suits us down to the ground personally. Sweet chili can't make it up, mate. I love sweet chili. Not in this weather, in all fairness. I don't know what it is like down where you are or where you are. I'll be honest, because I was looking at someone was talking to me from Essex, and they were saying, "Oh, it's only 20 in here." I'm like, "Really? It's 30 here. It's 30 in the West Midlands. It's absolutely ridiculous." And considering we are nowhere near the sea, I can promise you it's ridiculously hot. Anyway. That's me having a little move rant. Kim Jong-Kronk and his dad can't even spend some pennies for us. I promise you, it's got nothing to do with the Kronkers. All right, it's not even anything to do with Andrea or Mikel. It's just the way the market's going at the moment. Market is being very careful. I think that's the best word of saying it. Can you give us some names of that we bid placed on the table over the weekend? We can then try and decipher ourselves. No, no, I cannot. Look, at the end of the day, I still expect by the end of the window, we will have 3 forwards. Now, bear in mind what I said about what I class as forwards. 3 forwards, at least 1 midfielder, at least 1 defender, and a new goalkeeper. That's how I look at it personally. Are we getting Benjamin Tesco? Yes, we are, in my opinion. How many players have we bid for, rejected or not? And how many players do you think we would bid for this week? I don't see any more bids going in this week. Now, bear in mind, I know Arsenal have dealt with a lot of information, a lot of situations already. We have, as I've said before on multiple streams, we currently have 6 players in lock mode. So that means we've already agreed with the selling club. We've already agreed with the player. All we need to do now is just get our little ducks in a row and make sure we definitely want them and then sign them off. They might change. Those 6 might change at some point, and they could do. I'm not going to say that the 6 that I know about are definitely going to come to Arsenal. But at least we've got 6 locked in. Now, do we sign more than 6? Maybe. Do we sign less than 6? Very, very possible. But I would be very shocked because our minimum target is 7 signings this window. So, yeah, I'd be very disappointed. I think Arsenal would be disappointed if we only get 5, if I'm honest. Any news on sales? We'll get onto that shortly. Bobby can't wait for the end, so his WhatsApp don't get spammed. My WhatsApp, mate, is absolutely crazy. You wouldn't believe it. Any news on Party? I'll talk about Party shortly. What have I missed, Bobby Cole? I really haven't spoke about much yet. I'll be honest. The thing that's on the screen now is the only thing I've actually got into talking about at the moment. It's Chloe Kelly and Taylor Hines possibly coming to Arsenal on a free. So I haven't got far. Is Sesko deal going to be out in the media by Friday, Dymo? Yeah, I can't see why not. All I definitely know is it will be, in my opinion, fully wrapped by the beginning of July. Fully wrapped. Like, you will see him in the shirt. Fully wrapped, personally. I don't understand this stupid game that the media are playing, personally. I find it stupid. Big up to Melanie. Say morning, but no, morning to you too, Melanie. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's move on. Let's actually talk about some transfer news. So the Rodrygo situation. I know everyone is getting really excited by the possibility of him going. Now, I'll be honest, it's not that clear. Look, we have got multiple left wingers. We have one locked in, because we're looking at other situations to see what. And Rodrygo is a situation that we are definitely looking at. But it does look like he could stay. I'll be honest. I'll give you other names that we are looking at. We're looking at Anthony Gordon. We have looked at Leao. We have looked at Lookman. There are a couple of others as well. So I'm not guaranteeing this will happen. But I'll be honest, we can afford him. We have a set budget for the left winger. We have a set budget for pretty much every position. And we're trying to work within that budget. Obviously, if we need to spend more money on another situation that comes up, then we will. And that will have to be taken away from other positions unless we sell someone. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Is Rodrygo playing tonight? I honestly have no idea. I'll be honest, I haven't got a clue. I'll be honest, I couldn't give a monkey's butt about the competition. I don't like FIFA. Everyone knows this. I can't stand them. I personally would love it disbanded and remade because, in my opinion, it's a dirty organisation that shouldn't have anything to do with the beautiful game that my great-grandfather had a big part in making. So, yeah, that's just me. Cole doesn't want Gordon. Looking at FC says to me, who's more likely, Rodgers or Gordon? Wow, that's a tough one. Probably Rodgers. I don't want the tall Portuguese Gervinho Leao anywhere near my club, says Temi. I would prefer Rodgers and maybe Semenyo. I love Semenyo. A lot of people have so much hate on Semenyo, but I'll be honest, and this is where, again, I'm going to disagree with a lot of people, but I think him honing his skills in the Championship. Now, I can't remember how long he was in the Championship for a while, maybe 1 or 2 seasons, but that made him stronger, which means when he's in the Premier League, and you've seen it yourselves at Bournemouth, the guy can do stuff that you don't see from other players because he knows how to win and win dirty. Because you have to in the Championship, you have to win dirty sometimes. Big up to the 400 people currently watching. I do appreciate it. By the way, it is an early stream on a Wednesday morning. I have to think about what days it is. What do you think of the fixtures? I'll get onto that, Dymo. When do fixtures come out? Is that next week? I think it's next week. I know it's not that far. Gordon has been on the bench for Newcastle in the last few games, to be fair, says Chris. Is Lookman or Kudo on the list? Yes to both. Hamilton could be getting telling off at Ferrari for saying that there's a lot going on in the background, which is why it's costing us. Jesus Christ. Who the hell does that? You don't air your dirty linen in public, dear. Jesus. Anyway, that's Rodrygo. Hurdles to overcome. There are hurdles to overcome. Quite a lot of them. Now, one of them, self-made. Well, I wouldn't say it's our own fault because it's not. For a lot of people that love Thomas Partey, they want him to stay and all that kind of stuff. Great. I'm not. I've never been in that camp. I'll be honest. I wanted him gone 2 seasons ago. I still want him gone. Yes, he's had a great season. But I'll be honest, if I thought not so great. So he could be a problem. Because if he does decide to backtrack on what he verbally agreed to, then we need to find a way of replacing him. Now, there's a few ways we could do it. We could do it internally and risk it, putting Lewis Skelly there, and then we definitely focus on the left back, centre back role. Possible. I personally would quite happy with Agume. He doesn't cost much. I do think he's very, very good, very talented, young player. I personally have no issues with Agume, but the Agume needs to would obviously have to cost money, and we need to find that money from somewhere. So yeah, that would be a problem for me, in my opinion. Melanie, if only life was that simple. I know if we saw a hurdle in our way on the way to Asda or Tesco's or other supermarkets that are available out there, we would literally just lift it out and move out of our way. However, when it comes to football, it is a problem, because you have to make sure that we are not overspending or overstretching ourselves for when PSR comes in and we all of a sudden are out of control, and we've got to sell players to quickly get back into control. We don't want to put ourselves in that position, and it's just some hurdles. It's not a major one. It's not a brick wall. When I say there's a brick wall, then that's something for us to worry about. But it's just a hurdle. We'll be fine. Cole saying sell Party and get the young lad in and Miles in the middle. I agree, Cole. But we would need to find the money. Hamilton just looks tired, can't be asked. Attitude, a deflation. He needs break or retirement. Is he more out than in? I actually think he's more in than out, if I'm honest. It wouldn't shock me that we sort something out. As far as I was aware, we'd verbally agreed, and Thomas has just decided to go, no, you know what, I'm not happy about certain aspects of the contract. There's literally nothing wrong with it. For what he's done over the 5 years he's been here, there's literally nothing wrong with it. But, yeah, people just say, oh, just pay in the money. It's not as simple as that. The guy is, 31, 32. He wants an increase on his money. No. This is the time where you start going down in salary, not up. You may go up if you go to Saudi Arabia, which again is the problem, and Turkey as well, because they're offering crazy money over there. But in the Premier League, you get to a certain point in your career and certain age, your salary goes down, not up. Carl saying Subi Rice MLS is plenty. Shit, what did I miss? How to get? No, it's fine. Neil, you are more than welcome if you can. Just rewind and watch it as you want, mate. Honestly, I have no issues with it. Don't worry about it. Morgan Feeney got announced for Carlisle. Fantastic signing for National League upgrade on our defenders as a leader, and has upset Simpson fans for not mentioning Simpson for past memories. Diddums. I'm glad he's back. JJ said he was disrespectful to Simpson. I said Feeney was ahead of the curve on Simpson. If you take fee and wages into account, the Agumi fee and wages are somewhat covered, given Party's 200,000 wages and whatever we get from Lukonga. Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that, mate. But it's unless we can negotiate with them, which it's possible. It is possible. And in all fairness, quite easy due to the fact we've got Lukonga, and they want Lukonga. Lukonga wants them. We could quite technically get a quite an easy deal, and it would cover itself. But unfortunately, football's not as easy as that. I wish it was. I really do. He's too old to be demanding more money. Totally agree. How are we getting with the HG home grid? Is this why Rodgers and Gordon is preferable, especially if Martinelli is sold? Yeah, that is definitely something that we are all keeping an eye on. Obviously, for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, this is homegrown. quota. You have to have a certain amount of homegrown players within your squad. And obviously, we have to be very careful on this because we are always pushing it to the boundaries. And again, obviously, if Martinelli is sold, which is still possible, we would definitely have to get a homegrown player in. So yes, Michael, well, you have well noticed that well. Sesko reports we have reached an agreement with us. Melanie, as far as I'm concerned, Sesko is our new number 9. JJ said, I can't forgive Feeney on Simpson. I was like, who cares? Simpson, the idiot, got rid of all the players that got us promoted straight. Jesus. Right, Hato incoming. Now, obviously, Hato is someone we have looked at for 2 years now. I would be shocked if he doesn't come this window. I would be shocked. There are possible other destinations for him, Chelsea, Liverpool. But I would be very disappointed. I think Arsenal would be very disappointed if we didn't get Hato in. I think Zinny leaving would be a really big bonus to help us get Hato. I know a lot of people go, oh, that means we've got money problems. We don't have money problems, but what we have a lot of people on a lot of high wages. Now, Tierney was on a lot of money. Zinchenko's on a lot of money. We need to get some of these players out the door. It's absolutely mad. But it is what it is. But anyway, Hato, for me, is going to be incoming. I really need to change the background. Do you know what? I'm going to change the background. It does look like Arsenal Stadium is just on a big pile of horseshit. Right, let's change it. There we go. We're in the jungle. That's much better. Jesus. I just realised that looks like absolute horseshit. Anyway, Berta Stealth. So, a lot of work that Berta does goes behind the radar because he is a stealth. He is a very interesting character. Very, very good at what he does. And look, he may have a surprise or two up his sleeve still. I'm not saying he has or he hasn't. I'm just saying there is a big possibility there will be a surprise signing that no one even knows about. We'll just wait and see. We'll wait and see. But Berta's doing an extremely good job. And look, if things change and I come back in September after the window's closed to do the review and he fucked up on some things, or Mikel fucked up on some things, or KSC fucked up on some things, I'll say it. I ain't bothered. No one's going to tell me off. So, right, let's get on to transfers out. Zinny to AC Milan. This one I do see happening. Fee pretty much agreed with AC Milan. Now it's just wages. Now, obviously, the issue that we have is our players are on high wages. When you're going to other clubs, they don't pay anything like these type of wages. So that is the sticking point. I do think we'll sort it out, and I think Zinny will, if he actually is a human being, he will just accept a lesser wage. No one needs to be paid this much anyway, so I don't really ever see that being a problem. But yeah, currently that is the sticking point, is the wages. And Kivior is one to watch out for. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if he is used at some point as a make weight for a signing coming in. Now, there's a lot of teams that love Kivior, and I am not shocked because I always thought he was a very good player when he was coming here in the first place. And now he's worth a lot. And he's a very, very accomplished defender. So he's one to watch out for, in my opinion. Liverpool definitely possible for Hato, but would rely on Robertson leaving. But we could also bring through Owen Becker's back up to Kirkes. Centre-back, striker still our main priority, and maybe winger. Yes, centre-back, yes. Striker, yes. And maybe winger, yes. Winger only happens if someone leaves. Robertson will be leaving, in my opinion, to Spain. But yeah, that's how it is. Diaz definitely will not be going to Barcelona now. That is dead. But you never know. Diaz might still leave at the moment. Zinchenko is actually a good player when in right position. Totally agree. He's a midfielder, not a left back. But unfortunately, I've got a horrible feeling I'll be seeing him at left back at AC Milan. Yeah, well, the thing is, we've got a great relationship with AC Milan. Really good. They've obviously got one of our old staff members, and we've got great relationships with AC Milan, and we have done for years, in full fairness, but it has become stronger now. So yeah, it's a good thing to have sometimes when you have good relationships with teams, because sometimes you can offload them. Any other exits? Obviously, we spoke about Partey quite a lot. The only real possibility, in my opinion, at the moment, is possibly Martinelli. Martinelli could leave, but it's a look. At the end of the day, we're just in the middle of June. It's a long way to go. There are some clubs that have been interested in Martinelli, but again, the big stumbling block with him is his salary. So yeah, Kivior to Bournemouth in Semenyo deal. Interesting, due to the fact Bournemouth have lost 2 centre backs, or going to lose 2 centre backs, because I think it's his name Sabani. Sabani is also on his way out as well, so that's 2 centre backs there down. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Beck could be another Bradley for us coming from nowhere. I'm not against Robertson leaving, absolute legend for us, but leaving at the right time when he's past it. Yeah. And as for your academy, absolutely incredible, mate. Absolutely incredible. Thoughts on who Hato Kudos would prefer between Arsenal and Chelsea if both go for it? I'll be honest. If Arsenal and Chelsea both go for it, Hato and Kudo will both come to Arsenal. No doubt about it. If both clubs go for it, the choice is very easy. Very easy indeed. So there's that. Right. Quickly cover the Carlos Cuesta situation. We've known about this for 6 months, so I'm not concerned by this. You will likely see someone new coming in to replace Carlos, because obviously, you can't be a man down in your backroom stuff. So you will see someone new coming in. I'm sure that will be announced fairly soonish. Let's hope it's not before a bloody signing. It's actually officially announced. But no, we've known about it for a while. It's absolutely fine. Carlos let Arsenal know some time ago that he was ready to take up the challenge. There was talk of it last summer. It was Norwich at the time. But yeah, good luck to him. And he's gone to a team in it that I actually do have a soft spot for anyway, Palmer. So again, I've no issues with this. Contract issues, none apart from Thomas Partey. Quickly wanted to cover that one. It's just Thomas Partey that's an issue. Fixtures released. We play everyone twice. I know that sounds really rude to people that really get excited about fixtures. However, that's my theory. I don't care who we start with. I'm actually looking forward to the first game because it's a classic. United versus Arsenal, absolutely lovely. Who gets the first red card of the season, basically. But that's absolute stonker of a first game, that is. But other than that, I honestly don't care who we play. Like I said, the only one I actually really that bothered by is Boxing Day game. That's all I ever care. Sabani to PSG, Huijsen at Madrid. Yeah, Sabani is going to PSG. I swear me and you are so patient with transfers, everyone else. Oh, mate, yeah. It's bad. Even though I can't stand this. Yeah, I know you can't, but obviously you know that I obviously feel different, but I'm very relaxed. Very relaxed. Well said, by the way. I still do videos and fixtures released, and I'm still happy regardless. It's mad, isn't it? Everyone gets so excited by some fixtures, and yeah. And I'm just going to enjoy myself in the jungle now, people. I'm just having a big deep dive. I don't know how deep I'm going, but look, there we go. I'm going back up again now. That's all good. But anyway, oh gosh, it is so hot here, honestly. Have you seen the first 6 fixtures of a? I have, but I'll be honest, Tem. We all play them twice anyway. It doesn't really matter to me when we play them. I'm just looking forward to the first game because that has been an absolute great signing game. Love chili, full stop. Oh, I love chili. Well, to a degree. Don't give me these Carolina Reapers or whatever they're called. Hell no. Yes, there we go. I'm a celeb. I'm rather tough game. Yeah. Well, as far as I haven't looked at ours yet. I'll be honest. I have not looked I was given a draft yesterday, but I'll be honest, I didn't have time to look at it. All I've heard is supposedly the last few games for us are quite easy. Supposedly, I don't know, but I don't really care because we play everybody twice anyway. It doesn't really matter. Well, mate, this is the thing. This is the thing. Everyone's like worried about where we play the big six. The games that we fucked up were the games against mid-table fucking teams. So it's mad. Mo saying Arsenal intention was for a two-footed centre-back who can cover both positions. Hater is more left-sided, so it could be two centre-backs by any chance. Yes, it could be. I'll be honest, that's the easiest way. It's the only way I can answer that question. I'll just be honest and say yes. Two centre defenders. I'm being very careful not to say centre-backs because Hato will technically be looked at as a left-back as well. But yeah, there is a slight chance. Our priority was actually a right centre back because our left side was pretty well covered. But depending on what we decide with Thomas Partey, yeah, it's mad. And yeah, oh yeah, that's bad. Well, I you know, it is a case of. Sometimes I just need to be honest with some people and just go, yeah or no. It's yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm done. It is so ridiculously hot. I need the fan on full and I've turned it down so you can all hear me. But I'm now turning this fan on full blast so it blows fully in my face right now. Mamadashvili. Look, did you see how good that was, Krish? Mamadashvili. I've learned how to do it. It's been forgotten that we signed him. No, he hasn't. Look, I know that, like, obviously Kirkes, Wirtz, Jesus, the other dude, Frimpong, are very, very excited signings. But Mamadashvili is a very good signing as well. I finally, yes. I guarantee I'll call him Marmaduke at some point. But Mamadashvili. I've got my teeth in today. That's what it is. No, I've for some reason, I don't know. I can't tell you why. I've been saying it a few times over the past few weeks, but for some reason, I've been saying his name a few times. But yeah. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to see you Friday. I'm sure there'll be some more positive news by Friday. If not, I'll find out why. And I'll tell you why it has not happened. But guys, I'm out of here. Big up to you, Melanie. Say morning to you, Melanie. Hope you having a wonderful day. But I'm going to stay in the jungle. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.